Welcome back to the first and last episode ever of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Today we are going to be talking about 7 things: the goals of the expedition, the preparation and supplies, Native American interaction, plants, animals, the geography on the way, and some people involved in the Corps of Discovery. What were the goals of the expedition, you ask? It's a good question. The goals were to find a water route from the U.S. to the Pacific Ocean, right? And also to make detailed observations about natural resources and geography on the way. They were also trying to establish great relationships with the Native Americans and to disrupt the British dominance of the lucrative Indian fur trade. The expedition of Lewis and Clark was 2 years. So if you're going to go 2-year journey across the country, you're going to need a ton of supplies. Here's some of the things that they brought along the way to help them survive. And yeah, their mathematical instruments included a telescope, thermometers, 2 sextants, and a chronometer, and that's used for calculating longitude. Their camp supplies 150 yards of cloth to be oiled and sewn into tents and sheets, 150 pounds of that. Hand saws, hatchets, 10.5 pounds of fishing hooks and fishing lines. So they obviously met Indians along the way, and they had to bring presents. So 4,600 sewing needles, silk ribbons, ivory combs, and handkerchiefs, and a lot more, obviously. Their clothing included coats, frocks, shoes, woolen pants, blankets, knapsacks, stockings, the usual, back then clothes. Arms and ammunition: 15 prototype model 1803 muzzle-loading 54 caliber rifles. They brought 500 rifle flints, 176 pounds of gunpowder, packed in 52 lead canisters. And their medicine and medical supplies, in case someone got sick along the way: syringes, 1,100 doses of emetic, 3,500 doses of sweat inducer, and other drugs for blistering, salivation, and increased kidney output. Obviously, Lewis and Clark were important people, but without their Corps of Discovery, they really wouldn't get anywhere. So a really important person is Charles Floyd. He was born in Kentucky and was one of the first to volunteer to join the Corps of Discovery. He joined on August 1st, 1803 as a sergeant. His job, requested by Thomas Jefferson himself, was to judge land quality and soil conditions. This skill helped the expedition because without the journals of the soil and land conditions, no one would know what it's like in the Louisiana Territory. Am I right or am I not? Another important member in the Corps of Discovery was Patrick Goss. Patrick Goss was born in Pennsylvania. He joined the Army in 1789. When he joined the Discovery, he wasn't supposed to be a sergeant, but when another tragic passing of a sergeant, Charles Floyd, I actually just talked about him, he had to fill in. Goss's job was to cipher. That means translate languages into languages that they understood. So it was very important to the expedition because when the Native Americans were trying to communicate and they had interaction with them, he would be the one that would translate it from the Native American language to the language that they spoke. At this point in the video, you're thinking, boring. So I'm going to make it funny and tell some jokes. What do you call an alligator detective? An investigator. Got you on that one. I got you. Another one. Why don't you use a broken pencil? Because it's pointless. It's my favorite one. Now, of course, if you're the Lewis and Clark in the Corps of Discovery and you're going through a journey through the Louisiana Territory, you're going to have interactions with Native American tribes. Now, I'm going to be talking about 2 American tribes they interacted with. The Mandans is one. They lived in earth lodges. They farmed corn, beans, squash, and tobacco. They were amenable to trade with America. That means they were in agreement. They lived in 2 villages, Matutona and Rumptahi, my personal favorite. The Corps of Discovery stayed the winter in 1804 in Fort Mandan. When the Corps of Discovery entered their world in 1804, The Mondans seemed receptive towards the idea of the expedition. They didn't really like the idea of it. Now, of course, if you're going in a as I was saying, of course, if you're going to go in a territory that is doubling the size of the United States, you're going to encounter various land features and geography. So they ran into some features, and here are some. They found trails, abandoned lodges, smooth bores, that's like a gun with an unrifled barrel in it. They found a trade musket, a prickly pear cactus spine. They ran into rugged cliffs, narrow river bottoms, and some waterfalls. Now they also encountered the biggest river in North America, and it stretches a whopping 2,341 miles. And that's, of course, the biggest river in North America. Of course, they encountered different plants and animals that were unknown. So, of course, they ran into them, but I don't really know how to show you. So here's a montage of them. On behalf of me, myself, and the crew, thanks for watching, and see you never again on the Lewis and Clark expedition.